bind to each other to become more intelligent. Keep that point as I'm talking to you. That's important. They bind together to become more intelligent. That means people who don't like to bond are less intelligent automatically, because that's a law of nature. People who want to be independent and do things without cooperating with others, they're automatically exhibiting low or no intelligence. And it could be no other excuse other than they think it's bogus or they're afraid to grow. All right? They're afraid to grow. Get the least amount of help with, especially the brothers. We're also focusing on building local jurisdictions with families that are a part of it so that we can protect our nationals locally. To shame you because that is what you call the chastisement of Allah, and it's severe.
What up? Peace, family. Peace, peace. Sorry for the delay on my end. For whatever reason, technology wants to act up whenever I'm needing to go live. But hopefully, everybody is doing great. Hopefully, your week has been going well. We'll let everybody get in the chat for class. This should be an interesting one. Again, we're going to be talking about just kind of Cosmo relationship management. And just to give you kind of a idea is just that what I've been seeing is kind of the same repetitive patterns that people aren't either recognizing or they're just not aware, in the sense of they're dealing with people who they have no business dealing with. And so what ends up happening is that it's a waste of time, wasted energy, wasted resources, and at the end of the day, people end up either upset or annoyed or whatever the case may be, right? So this is something that anyway, I don't know why people want it. Um, so this is the time that I think this is most important, just building relationships in general, healthy relationships. And there's a science to it. Everybody should be aware of it. But again, we're going to kind of go over that in this class today so that it just be as helpful as possible, right? And then also we'll talk about some other things as well that hopefully will put some money in your pocket. Again, it's just an idea. So if you are in the building, put a one in the chat. And for those who I know I owe stuff to, bear with me. So let me see. I'm just trying to get sure everything is squared away. Peace, family. I see people in the building. Peace, peace, peace. Peace to the God. Let's see. I gotta get this situated. So hopefully everybody's having, a good time, good relationships with people, friendships, business relationships, partnerships, all that stuff. Because that stuff is important. You want to build up a community, build up your tribe and your local jurisdictions. You can't do it by yourself. You can never do it by yourself. Very, very, very important. Peace, family, peace, peace. Let me see what's going on with my technology right now. And I want y'all to think about just some of if you wanted to ask questions just in general about maybe dealing with certain energies or maybe just perspectives or whatever, let me know. We can talk about that as well. And maybe next time we'll bring on some special guests too, to just kind of further in on this topic as well. But I kind of wanted to kick off the conversation again because I keep seeing the same patterns. So let me make sure that this is squared away. I need to minimize that. I need to get Instagram working. It's not working. Boom, 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 boom. Hold on. Let me see. What is going on? So I think this is the way it's supposed to be working. Okay, cool. I bet. That should be working. Got that squared away. Cool. I bet. Bear with me, y'all. We're going to get started just in a few. Some odd reason technology is being goofy on me. Let me see. Instagram's working? Cool. All right. So we can go ahead and get started. I'm going to share my screen in a bit. Hopefully this will get rocking and rolling. Technology sometimes. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll share this screen for the time being until this is fixed. So let me share my screen. All right. Let me know if y'all can see my screen. I know it might be a little tiny for the time being, but once something else comes on the back end, I'll fix it and then I'll make it bigger. Let me make sure. So these are the topics, right? Again, what happens when you don't have a jurisdiction? We'll kick that off with that. And as well as just the main topic, which is the anime Cosmo relationship and management discussion. And then just updates coming to a city near you, and then a few investment opportunities, right? So as a reminder, because y'all keep coming to the pool, asking questions to me. Peace, everybody in the building. Let me shout out some love to the fam. Peace, peace. Peace up in the building. Yeah, don't be coming to me, y'all. And maybe you 2-3 years behind on paying dues and you want me to do IDs or whatever service. Because I will ask the first question. Have you paid your dues? And if the answer is no, you already know where I'm going to send you to. And then this is just the importance of dues, right? I'm trying to be efficient with the time. Events that's coming down the pipeline as well. Everybody should be kind of aware that Ramadan Ball in December. Get your butts ready for that. Get flyed up. That's going to be coming in December. So other than that, let's get into the meat and potatoes. So let's talk about this foolish behavior when you don't have a local jurisdiction, right? Or just a jurisdiction in general that you actually can control, pass legislation, and things of that nature, right? So I'm going to share this particular screen. So let me stop sharing that. And y'all, man, some of y'all already know what I'm about to talk about. But it's just really to prove a point. So where are you? Where are you? Here it is. All right. So I know everybody's aware of this craziness. But Michael, as he goes by, I'm not even about to worry about it. But the brother is guilty for all sexual charges that he was talking about were dropped or are not dropped. Obviously, his brother's been scamming for years and doing some weirdo behavior, right? Again, under this new covenant nonsense. Again, this is the reason why within ARNA we have to have local jurisdictions. We have to have jurisdictions in general, just because we can't let foolish behavior like this prey upon the community, right? And messing with children, y'all, messing with children. What you doing with a minor?
Nasty bitch.
That's exactly what that nigga is. Nasty. Like, what are you doing? Fucking idiot. So anyway, with that being said, so for those who think that this brother is not in jail, this brother is definitely in jail. He took a plea deal, right? And if you're not certain, we just do what we do as a jurist. We just simply Google the person's name, look at the case info right here. Boom. Felony charges. He took a plea deal. And the reason why he took a plea deal, the mother of the child that he did some inappropriate things didn't want to bring the daughter involved. She was already traumatized, right? The shit is beyond crazy. So Either way, I'm not going to spend too much time on it. Let me share this type of. You see this information right here. The brother is guilty. He took a plea deal. It's a wrap. So for those who were thinking that he was innocent, that he didn't do anything wrong, y'all crazy. So let me move on to the next exhibit, right? That we need to talk about, right? Let me see. I'm gonna stop sharing that, and I'm gonna share this one. And it's just the idea is just, folks, we can't be letting stuff like this enter into our community. We have to hold people accountable. We can't let people do this weirdo. I don't know what the fuck they doing, but weirdo shit. Let me see. Where are you? Where are you? Oh, I got you. All right. Same thing. You see what it says? That dude from That 70s Show? Rape. What are we doing, folks?
Nasty bitch.
Right. That's my point. So I'm not going to spend too much time on it. Just to reiterate the point of, we can't let these people do this type of behavior, y'all. Like, so let me move on to something that I think is pretty relevant. For those who have not gotten their status together, right? You haven't gotten your status together. IRS is planning on using AI. And they said that to affect the wealthy taxpayers. But we already know that's not the case. We already know. The IRS is here to audit citizens. And mostly 14th Amendment citizens, those who don't have it. Period. Right? So they're going to use AI. They're going to be auditing y'all. So what does that mean for nationals or non-nationals that have no indigenous business with ARNA? You need to get either your indigenous business affairs in order, get your nationality situated so that this doesn't impact you, because as nationals, you don't have to worry about taxes, right? You don't have to report any type of revenue to the IRS because you're tax exempt, literally. So just keep aware and be mindful of what they're actually doing. So I know some of y'all still asking me, like, I haven't opened up my business bank account, Kojo. And I'm going to ask you why. Why haven't you not? Let me see something. Did they do this? No, it's still not doing it. I'll just have to share the screen. Let me keep it moving, y'all. Let me share this. I know y'all been seeing it, but CIA is talking about looking into allegations connected to COVID-19. Really? Are we that retarded? Yeah. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is because y'all remember what I had mentioned to y'all before about the respiratory or severe epidemic, the bullshit that they were talking about. Let me share my screen again so y'all can see it. Let me see, share my screen so y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all remember this little experiment? This is a fictional scenario. Severe epidemic, enterovirus, respiratory syndrome. I've been hearing some of y'all coughing. I've been hearing some of y'all, just ghastly, right? Y'all done caught something, probably ain't on your diet, right? Some of y'all been slipping in some things you ain't supposed to be eating. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is because look at what the CDC is talking about. I know I keep going back and forth, y'all, but I have to do that because some odd reason technology is being weird on me. So I'm going to share this portion right here. Boom. All right, you see it? Respiratory syncytial virus immunization. This came out of nowhere, y'all. But it really didn't, because we talked about this. This is the scenario that they were talking about in 2020 for 2025. But they're talking about this is very important for folks who are 60 and older, children who are 8 months born. Like they trying to hit everybody from the very beginning, and at the end. So, what does that mean for y'all? That means get all the proper nutrition. Example would be vitamin D3 and a few other things to make sure that you're not falling susceptible to the different things that are taking place within this bio warfare that they're doing. Literally. See all these different diseases. So, one last thing on this note with the diseases or viruses. Marburg virus. Look. If I were to type in this is supposed to be the zombie virus. So let me go here. Just type it. They're talking about this is going rampant right now. Like this is being discussed right now. And it's like they're trying to hit everybody all at once with a couple of different things. As well as being distracted with the circus show. So anyway, that's the reason why we want to harp on jurisdiction. But let me get into the meat and potatoes. So I'm going to share my screen for the other stuff. I know you're like, damn, Kojo. Like, why are we talking about this? You need to know, y'all. Y'all need to know. Okay. Back to this, right? So let's kind of set the tone. Remember this image, right? Y'all, we can't go off on the deep end. Some of y'all are over here, so far gone. We need to bring you back into over here. And you're going to find out why at the end. All right. So Aboriginal shape. We're going to talk specifically Cosmo, right? Why am I talking about this? Because I keep seeing the same issue. Have you read your book of you? Do you know you? Do you know who you are working with? Do you know who you're interfacing with? Do you know any of these things? Are you asking the questions you need to know? Because some of y'all are going in freestyling and it's costing y'all because you think you feel right. All right. So let's just kind of kick it off with some of this, right? I know some of the hearts out here. Shout out to the hearts. I know y'all be thinking, do you feel me? You feel me? Do you understand me? Do you put yourself in my shoes? Because I do the same for you, but do you do it for me? I know some of y'all have heard that before. And then clubs. I know y'all be just like, I just want to know. I be thinking, and I be wondering, and I be like communicating. Diamonds, you just want to show your value. You want to be valued, and you know what value looks like. Spades, you want to work. You already be knowing. You like, I already know what's about to happen. So pick up on these subtle cues. Now let's go a little deeper. Some of y'all, there is a video at the rites of passage. How to find your birth card. There should be no reason why you can't find your birth card. Like, at all. It is very easy. Very, very easy. Follow this formula. If you don't want to follow the formula, there is a shortcut. If you're enrolled in the cosmology course, you know what I'm talking about. So, but the idea is that it's not that hard to figure it out. 1 through 52. Right? So anyway, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this because that's not what I'm supposed to be teaching, right? I'm just trying to point you in the right direction so you have a good foundation, right, for what we're going to be discussing. This is how you find your planetary ruler. Based off of your quote-unquote astrology sign, that's what's going to navigate this. And you're going to go whatever space from your birth card, right? Depending on this. And then planetary number is just doing a little numerology. You're just simplifying the number to a single digit. That's it, except for 10, obviously. Okay. And then if it's the moon, for both of these, just always remember if it's the moon, go to the right. Now let's talk about hearts. Cosmology with the hearts. All right. Sometimes hearts, you have to understand how to manage your pool. Some of y'all just be letting anything fly, dump, drop into your pool. And on top of that, you let people drink so much water that you have nothing left in your tank. I know you got a big heart, but you don't even have enough to preserve you. Some of y'all are being drained, taxed. People just be dumping on you. They be like, hey, you look like a good pool to sit in. Listen to all my problems, because I know you care. But just keep in mind is that you got to set boundaries, right? Everything is about boundaries. And I'm going to get to the point where we talk about relationships, but I have to set the foundation. The idea is just you need to manage your relationships, manage your emotions. Because people can take you there, right? You be ready to like either flare on them, you be ready to dump on them, like, hey, I just want you to listen to my problems and don't say nothing. Some people can't hold water, y'all. So as a heart, I know you're like, man, I gotta tell somebody, I gotta let my emotions out. I need to release, cycle those old emotions so I can move on. We'll do it with somebody that you actually know and trust, right? That they've earned that. And you'll be good to go, right? But also don't forget to replenish your pool. Period. Right? This is how your pool is supposed to look like, right? Literally. But this is what y'all's pool be looking like. You see this right here? This is what some of y'all's pools be looking like. It look brown, dusty, ain't got no water to begin with. All right, yeah. Now keep playing. This is the pool that you want to have as a hearts. Just understand that. Okay. Clubs. Have you seen two clubs together? I've seen clubs do this all the time. If you a club, you know what I'm talking about. Y'all don't even be breathing while y'all communicating. Y'all just be going 1,000 miles an hour. Just like, wow. Did you even breathe? Wow, you said a lot. I didn't hear. I didn't hear you breathe. I didn't hear you breathe. So that's the idea. It's just be mindful, breathe, deep breaths, right? Be sure to, speak your truth, right? Speak what you need to speak, because what you're going to find out, I've talked to a lot of clubs, and, clubs seem to I just like being around clubs too, right? So you'll start to notice that your throat, you go, you're clearing your throat, or something's happening where you're just low volume, you're not really projecting. And at the end of the day, you feel and you think like, wow, I need to speak my truth. But always remember, sometimes is it worth doing? Because sometimes people won't understand. They'll misunderstand you, where you're coming from. And either you find a way to deliver that message, which is your truth, and not having to sugarcoat it, like whatever, but deliver it in such a way that meets the person where they're at. Sometimes people just can't handle it. But again, the truth is what it is, right? So speak your piece. So that way your mind doesn't always have to be thinking and racing at night. Keep that in mind. So again, you want crystal clear skies, right? Oxygen just flowing in the right direction. You're studying, you're thinking, you're speaking your truth. Everything just looks great. You're reading, you're studying, going in the right direction, y'all. All right. If not, this is what some of y'all's minds be looking like. Cluttered. Don't even know where you learned what. Shit is all over the place. I'm like, yo, do you remember such and such? Yeah, let me go back into the archives real quick. You can't even find it, right? So the idea is that you just want to, keep your mind organized. Don't keep your mind all over the place where you're just bouncing back and forth, not sharing information. You hoarding on to information. Share what you know. People want to learn. Those who do, right? And just be careful not to cause thunderstorms. I know y'all it take one word and it'll set off somebody, or hurt their feelings, or nothing will happen. So just be mindful, right? So the idea is just management of information and communication, right? So you get this nice little blah blah blah, right? We've talked about this before. So all right, carbon, earth, diamonds. It's my favorite. I like money. So here's the thing. Diamonds know you're valuable. Sometimes you don't know your value, and that is the problem. People will kind of take that for granted from you. They're like, oh, you good with money, right? I could just come to you, right? If I'm down and bad, I'm down out. I know I can count on that diamond because they always got their shit together. Know your value, right? People will take advantage of it because they see how good you are with it. But again, you will be generous enough to do so, which is fine. Right? Somebody said, oh yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with you, Instagram. This is so annoying. We'll have to figure that out. Let me make sure. Yeah, so I won't spend too much time on that, y'all. Just got to set the foundation. But the idea is that you smell like money, you're generously giving it out, you got it together, right? Looking in the green, right? All right, spades, hydrogen. This is my favorite too, right? Let nothing extinguish your flame. Nothing at all. Period. People will come in, they try to douse on what you know. You be like, wait, I know what's about to happen. They're like, nah, listen, you wrong. Listen, I want to do it this way. Have you ever been in that situation where I'm talking to those who know they're a spade. And I know this happens to people in general, but you're like, man, I know that that's not what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be doing something else. And when you don't listen to your intuition, it's ended up costing you, literally, money, relationships, opportunities, whatever, your peace of mind, because you didn't trust your intuition. So keep that in mind. Some of you are overworked. Learn how to cooperate with people and keep things organized, right? So that's just one thing. And then, some of y'all have like extrasensory perception, right? Dreaming, lucid dreaming, foresight. You can sense people's energies, all that stuff. Totally real. Very, very much so. Some of y'all, if y'all don't keep it together, your world is burning. You start setting people on fire. You start burning bridges. Sometimes y'all are very petty. Spades can be very petty. And it be the littlest thing. They be like, you know what? I'm about to get you for that. They be plotting. So constantly just taking the downloads of wisdom so that it keeps you kind of squared away. Have a work balance situation and just keep tapping into your wisdom. Keep working hard. Nothing can stop you. Trust me. And never lose that passion. Right. So just the key concepts is just management of wisdom, work, and passion. Right. And then you'll have a nice little situation where your passion just burns through. Right. All right. So let me get to really what people care about. Cosmo-relationship connections. Got to make this disclosure. Just because you don't have a connection doesn't mean it can't work. It just means it will be an uphill battle. And you really have to make sure that you pay attention to the other person's energy. I'm going to say that hold on, I'm going to take this off the screen. I'm going to say this one more time. Just because you don't have a connection with somebody via Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, or moon verticals, moon bottoms, moon supports, doesn't mean the partnership, the relationship, the whatever is not going to work. It just means it'll just be a little bit harder, and you got to understand the energies. You got to know the energies. That's what's going to help guide you, right? So I have to make that disclosure because let me just share this. All right. So Y'all seen this before. I know y'all seen this before, right? So let's take an example, right? Let's say a Queen of Hearts and they ran into somebody who's a two of clubs, right? As an example. And they were just strictly two of clubs. Like they ain't got nothing else. They had two of clubs, jack of clubs, seven of spades. Boom. Listen, Queen of Hearts is on a struggle bus, right? Ain't nothing touching it, right? Just from this. Again, I know. Just an example. This is not a real scenario, but the idea is that you have to recognize what that two of clubs is. You have to know what that energy is. So typically, when you're dealing with twos, we're dealing with partnerships. We're dealing with, and it's a club, so we're dealing with shared ideas, shared knowledge. But the idea is you don't want to give so much away that it takes away your power by just depending on somebody so much, right? And then with the Queen of Hearts, obviously, this is the marriage card. The dealing with family can be overworking, pandering, sensual, that type of stuff, right? So again, keep that in mind, right? So what do I mean by all of this stuff, right? It really is up to you. The elements, the cards, they're good reference points. But at some point, you're going to see the energies. You're going to recognize them, and you're not going to need to depend on the cosmology. Like, damn, what? Oh man, it's good to have that stuff. It's good to know that stuff. Like, but when you're out in the real world, touching grass, dealing with people, you're gonna have to pick up on the energies. Hold on, my thing about to die. Hold on. So hopefully that makes sense. I know we're kind of skipping through, but I got to get to the meat and potatoes. So a lot of y'all are basing your interactions with people off of superficial interactions. What do I mean by that? This is how some of y'all be talking to me about somebody, like whenever it's y'all special significant other or somebody you think you like. This is how y'all be coming.
You don't know, baby D. You don't know. That's why you're looking at me, because you don't know, baby D.
And I'm looking at you like Craig is looking at Dede. Like, I'm like, do you know her birthday? Like, what's her card? What's her birth card? Like, do you know anything? Well.
You don't know, baby D. You don't know. That's why you're looking at me, because you don't know, baby D.
You say I don't know the person. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, I could know the person if you just tell me their birthday. And they're like, nah, that's not really important. You on that, I don't know that you don't need to know that, but you do, right? Because a lot of y'all are basing off of superficial interactions, like, oh damn, like he's handsome. Oh, like damn, she's hot, or like, oh, she's short. Oh dang, like he's tall, dark. Like all this stuff. This is what y'all basing the stuff off of. All superficial interactions, which is not going to last. It's actually going to cost y'all, right? You're basing your feeling, like all your interactions have been based off of feelings and beliefs only, which is a problem. You need to know who you're dealing with. You need knowledge, right? You need cosmology, right? So understand that you need the technicals, meaning you need the cards, cosmology, so that you can know exactly who you're dealing with and you're not freestyling. This is what I see all the time. People always hit me with this.
You don't know, baby D.
I don't know the person. I'm like, oh, I bet I would know. Give me the birthday. Don't even need the year. So this is how we need to approach Cosmo-Relationships. I know y'all have heard this before. This is not new. I just have to make sure that we do it because I keep seeing the same problem. Some of y'all don't even know what type of relationship you're entering into. Some of y'all think that this is a real thing when this is just friendship. Wasted time. All right. So Now, the other big thing, like I keep saying, go touch grass, go live life, find out how you interact with the world, and just be real, just be you. But again, when you're interacting with people, business relationships, you have to know the person instead of trying to be so busy trying to control people. You're wasting time. Ever try to control somebody? You stress yourself out more. So don't do it. Either you know them and then you're able to like, okay, yeah, we have similar, like maybe we have a mutual Venus, and then we have, your moon support, or you're my, moon vertical, whatever the case is. Like it makes sense for whatever you're trying to develop. But always think in group destiny, in a system, right? If you don't watch or if you don't choose wisely, right? Your peace is disturbed. You wasted your time, and you're pissed off. So you have to ask yourself this question: what actually binds people? What is the purpose of you being in this relationship? Some of y'all don't even know why you're in the relationship that you're in. Some of y'all are just settling. Or you're like, man, I don't want to be alone. Or you just don't know. You're like, I'm just going for the ride. You're coasting. You have no idea why you're interacting with that person. And that can be the projector or the destroyer. You have no idea. Some people can ruin you. I've seen it happen. Johnny Depp says this, right? The worst person in the world, right? Oh, sorry. The worst prison in the world is a home without peace. Folks, I've seen some of y'all's homes. Some of it be in chaotic form. I'm like, is this how we living? Not in my house. So it's just important, y'all. Just the idea of why I keep bringing this stuff up is because I need y'all to really get what I'm talking about. So let me see if I can pull up something. I want to make sure that I do this correctly. So let me see. Nah, not that. Let me make sure. Okay, so y'all see this picture with Scottie, right? Scottie Pippen and his ex-wife Laura. This relationship was never going to work. Even though I know I make that disclaimer, just because you don't have any cards touching or connecting that bind y'all like atoms doesn't mean it can't work, but it just will be a harder uphill climb. I got to make that disclosure. So, Scottie Pippen, Queen of Hearts, 8 of Diamonds, 10 of Spades. He has the same birthday as me. Laura, I forget her birthday, but she's a 9 of Diamonds, Jack of Clubs, 2 of Clubs. Now, if we go back to that spread, right? Go back to that spread. 2 of Clubs here, Jack of Clubs here, 9 of Diamonds here. So you already know what time she's on. She's on about that money. And there's levels to it, right? There's levels to it. So she smooth talked her way into his wallet, into his retirement, to his NBA retirement. She gets all half of that. Smooth talk. She even got birthed him a child and everything. This is what I'm talking about. He thought he had a good one going. Like, look, and I know they're all a gamble, right? But at least there's a little bit of intelligence. This is what I'm just trying to communicate. There has to be some level of intelligence. There has to be. You can't be guessing. So anyway, this Queen of Hearts, brother, he just wants to have a family, just be loved, right? This girl, look, I'm about that bread. I ain't got a heart in me. But what you can do is you can make that a reality for me. Because you a ball player and you played with the greatest. Matter of fact, this is how much he's about that money. She is with what is it, Michael Jordan's son? This is how bad it is. And she about to mess around and get 2 retirements. 2 forms of retirement. From Michael Jordan and Scotty. You know how many rings that is? That's 12 rings. Matter of fact, it's about to be 14 because she married Scotty. That's 11. Or no, that's 13, right? And then she's about to marry Jordan's son. So that's going to be 14 rings that she's damn near collected. But anyway, the idea is that y'all keep hitting me with this.
You don't know, baby D. You don't know. That's why you're looking at me, because you don't know, baby D.
And I'm like, I probably know him better than you do. Or I probably know him better than you do. So keep that in mind, right? So I have to mention that. All right, let's talk about the relationship. Mate selection. This is very important. Y'all out here freestyling. Y'all not asking the right question. And I don't know why. Are y'all too afraid to ask the question? Oh, that was the other thing. Hold on, sidebar. I gotta take off screen quick. So remember how I was talking about what was it? Oh, the virus stuff, right? I had somebody come to me. We were having this discussion. They were like, yeah, you know. And I was like, yeah, they're about to do another mandate, you know. And this is what they said. They said, we had a mandate? And in my mind, I'm looking at this person crazy. I'm like, no mandate? Where have you been? No mandate. I damn near lost my mind. Like, so anyway, let me go back to the stage. Okay. I just had to express that. You see the sun, right? You see the sun is giving energy, giving radiation, giving sunlight, solar energy to the rest of the planets, right? That is masculine energy. The world eventually will be poly. It's already there right now. The solar system is even like that right now. All these planets revolve around the sun, not the other way around. So the big question that folks don't understand is we have folks practicing polygyny, polyamorous, you know, all this other stuff as a 14th Amendment citizen. How retarded is that? You're not even in your own jurisdiction. You're doing it without codes, no purpose. You need to have a purpose. If you don't have a purpose, why are you in the relationship? Like, there has to be a reason why you're getting together with that person. And plus, you would know them because you did the beginning steps. You ever seen a piece of what is it? You seen a piece of what is it? They call it debris in space. When there's no force, there's no direction. The shit is just floating, drifting in space. That's what some of y'all are doing in relationships. You just drifting from relationship to relationship to relationship until you find somebody that hits. You be like, oh, yep, got me a winner. I got me a winner right here. Hey, I ain't going nowhere. I'm gonna latch on and I ain't going nowhere. This is what y'all have been doing. Y'all been drifting. Drifting. Y'all might as well be surfers. But what I'm trying to tell y'all is there has to be a purpose. Answer that question as you're entering into this relationship. Like, what is the purpose of us uniting forces? If you can't answer that question because it's a superficial reason, you will lose. Focus families with planned strategies as a collective, as a group, will always win. Y'all out here freestyle. Some of y'all don't even want to ask the hard questions. But let me keep going because y'all don't really care, right? You know, you just like, Coach, you have no idea what you're talking about. So, Cosmo-Relationships. I know some of y'all be knowing what the dysfunctional signs are and the functional signs are. Some of y'all be ignoring the dysfunctional signs. So let me give you an example. Some of y'all get hypnotized so easily by a club, right? I gotta pick on clubs, and I'll pick on hearts too, right? Some of y'all will get hypnotized by good linguistics. I mean, to the point where it is like, yeah, you know, that sounds really good. I'm not even about to verify that, but you know, that sounds good. I'm convinced. This is how some of y'all be doing. Instead of paying attention to the signs. Why am I saying that? Because some of y'all get easily manipulated. If somebody is dysfunctional and they're, you know, they know what they're talking about, they kind of sway you in a direction that you have no business going. So you believe every word they say versus verifying yourself. Let me pick on the hearts because I'm a heart. You get pulled in by magnetism. Hearts will pull you into a nice soothing pool, feels nice and warm. You're like, you know, I like it here, you know. You ever see Magneto from X-Men? That's what's happening to people. People, when they're dealing with a heart that's aware of the switch, they just pull people right in, and people don't even know why they coming up to talk to them. I don't even know why I just told you that. I do. I be knowing. But let me not spoil the magic. Some of y'all just want to be in fantasy land, and that's okay. But the idea of why am I bringing this up is because you need to recognize the flags. You need to recognize the dysfunctions. You need to recognize the functions. You go, oh damn, this is a good quality. Like he a family person, he got it together, and he's got a purpose. He wants to know everything about me, and he knows himself. That's a good sign. And I asked him about cosmology, and he knows what he said. That's another good sign. All right, so let's talk about mate selection for females, right? What you need to be looking for in a man. You need to be asking these questions, right? First things first. When is your birthday, right? I know it's not on here. It's on the other slide. You need to be asking, what is your cards? What is your birthday? So you could do the calculations yourself in your head. You're like, oh, okay. And then you kind of have an idea of what the spread looks like, right? For those who are in cosmology, right? You're going to have to do this on the fly. Maybe you have to go do some homework. Either way, you need to be asking this question. It's very important. Period. Now, the other thing is, was the man raised by his father? Or was he raised by a single mother? You know, hey, I'm not knocking it, but that is an important question because if that's the case, you're like, oh damn, is this, you know, I'm hearing all types of femininity energy right now. Maybe you want to evaluate it or you understand the energies. Like, do I want to deal with this? Is the brother in some type of, you know, brotherhood that has protections, resources that he could call on if he was in a bind? You know, does he have a well-known circle? Is he in good health? Like when you look in his eyes, are they yellow and disgusted, or are they white and they like full of life? Like these are things you want to know. How does he handle behavior when it comes to women? You know, is he condoning you? Does he have balance with family and, you know, work? Is he always chilling on the couch, doing nothing? Or is he working and also spending time with family, you know, trying to build something? Is the man competent, compatible with your cosmology charts? Y'all be skipping that part. And that's why I'll have to repeat it. You be skipping this part. You have to know the person is what I'm trying to say, right? Same thing goes when it comes to men and women. Like, what are you looking for in a woman? Men, ask the birthday, get a cosmology reading, or do it yourself, so you can at least have the baseline. Okay, I see the energies, I know that energy, and I don't think we compatible, and it's okay. Is the woman in physical good condition? Is she taking care of her health? It's important. Does she have good nutrition? Was the woman raised by her mother and father? Was the father around? Right? These are all good things. Does she know how to practice good nutrition? Does she understand the art and science of getting like dressed? Like, does she know how to dress well? Or she just let everything hang out, like just let everything just see the tatas and everything. I'm like, oh wow. Right? These are questions we need to know. So the idea is that these are, this is not new information. Right? I just have to make sure that we are practicing it. I keep getting these calls. And I'll be like, are we following? Are we reading what we know already? Hey, here's some questions too, just in general from both sides, specifically for the men. Like, do you have any martial sciences? Any science, like, are you trained in the art of martial arts, firearms? These are very important questions. What is the vision? Again, going back to the purpose. I'm like, damn, Kojo, you keep it. Yes. What upsets you the most in human behavior? Some of y'all, it be the littlest stuff that upsets you. And you don't say nothing until it's a problem and then you blow up. Right? Does the person have any children? Right? Sometimes that's a deal breaker for people. Right? What does a marriage look like to you? Right? These are questions that are important. What was the relationship like with your mother and father? Career goals, right? Jurisdictional thinking. Like, these are things that you gotta ask. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. Jealousy. Some of y'all can't even look at somebody and somebody get jealous. Or you can't even have a conversation and somebody get jealous because they're not secure within themselves. Right? Some of y'all have been in violent situations, like meaning you in the hood and you whooping somebody's ass. Yeah, I'm like, damn. How you know you're not gonna put a domestic violence on me, girl? Because you was out here swinging. I've met some people like that. I met some women like that. They've had a rough experience from past dating or marriages. So that is a imprint. Same thing goes. So marriage contract, participating in different things like arts, music, instrumentals, sketching, all this stuff, right? These are the things that make a person diverse, right? Well cultured, well-rounded, very important. Some of the bigger questions. Since there's a big uptick in Texas on STDs, have you ever had an STD? Because it's spreading like wildfire. So these are questions that may be hard, but you got to ask. Otherwise, you're going to set yourself up for failure. You don't want to be guessing. Have you ever had a major disease? Because sometimes that's like that may be a deal breaker for some people. Like, oh, damn, you have a heart disease? I don't know. Like, you had a heart attack? How do I know you ain't going to go after, we may have? Anyway, so you get the idea. You just got to ask these right questions, right? Otherwise, you're going to be floating in relationships. Some of y'all won't even ask the question on how do you define sex? And if you're reading this book, hold on, let me do a little promotion. If you're not reading this book, right here, right, Dr. Ali's book, right? All right, The Power of Sex. You need to read this, right? If you're not reading it, I don't know what you're doing. So you need to be asking these questions. How do you define sex? What do you love or like about sex? What don't you like about sex? Some of y'all can't even have an honest conversation about that. Because y'all are afraid to be judged. You're afraid to be, like, dang, if I'm going to be looked at. And some of y'all doing some weird stuff too, right? So you gotta ask that question. Gotta ask these questions. Some of y'all been convicted of crimes, and you ain't saying shit till we look at the records. All right, let's talk about some of the educational stuff, which is important. Have you ever invented anything? That's because that's what's actually going to rule the world is inventors. That's one of the structures. Inventors, scientists, agriculturists, right? So, what are your favorite fields to study, and what is your view of honor? Because you got some of y'all are in situations where your partner or your significant other does not want nothing to do with honor. They're like, I'm not dealing with that crazy, fake, whatever that you got going on over there. I'm going to remain a 14th Amendment citizen, slave. Yes. And I don't know what that dynamic is like in the household, but I can only imagine it being complicated because you want to try to do something and it's almost like you basically are an individual because you're not on the same page. It makes it complicated when you have women who, they like what Anna's got going on, and the husband is like, yeah, you know what? I'm not even interested in that. I don't even believe the benefits are real. And that's a sad situation. So make sure that you ask these questions before you go down a long road of commitment. If you could make any type of technology that would be great for your family, what would that be? Like, these are deep questions, right? We're like, man, I'm not about to ask these damn questions. Like, I'm just trying to go back to superficial world and,
You don't know, baby D. You don't know. That's why you looking at me, because you don't know, baby D.
That's how y'all want. Y'all just want to know, like, yo, y'all don't know this person. Our love is like no other. I'm like, I bet it is. Right? So let's move on. And then this is some of y'all like this subject, right? Spirituality. What is your view on it? Some of y'all be into all types of shit. I don't want to even say it, right? So you need to know, because if somebody's a Christian, right, and if somebody is like an atheist, which I'm like, anyway, they about to collide, right? Hard body. So don't play with the stuff that y'all think y'all like, man, this is not important. It's very, very much so. The spiritual system, it's important. So lay these things out. All right. I know y'all like damn coach out. Hurry up. So the idea behind this is that being disciplined, holding yourself accountable, having routine structures, all this stuff, eating right, this is all going to make the relationship that much more better. Having a peaceful home to go to, learning how to deal with people and manage the energies. That's basically what the theme is, managing the energies. Because some of y'all, let me give you an example. Our heart be trying to figure out, how does this person not understand how I feel? It's like, yo, not everybody understands how you feel. Communicate in a way that is not so dramatic, right? Just be directed to the point. Clubs, some of y'all be like, damn it, if I could just say what I want to say, I feel better. You can do that. Just be sure to breathe, right? And sometimes you have to contemplate, is it worth it? Because you're about to cause a hell of a storm. Diamonds, recognize your value. Please don't let people shit on you and take you for granted and not understand the value that you bring, right? So that's very important. Spades, I know y'all work hard. I know y'all be knowing things. Just try not to be petty, right? Do your best not to be petty and burn bridges, okay? Be mindful of that, right? So the big thing, self-honesty, self-correction. When you're aware of these things, when you're aware of who you're dealing with, you know you read your book of you read somebody else's book of them, right? And then you have an idea of the energies. You're like, okay, do I want to manage that energy or I don't want to manage that energy? That's for you to decide, right? I always make my disclaimer. Just because there's no energies connecting doesn't mean it can't work, right? But remember, the solid principle of an atom bonding to each other to become more intelligent. Keep that in mind. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. All right, so this is what the future looks like. Like I told you, landowners, we've talked about this, and I'm going to send the email out to those who reached out. I have a list. I know I owe y'all. So I'm going to send that out, as well as agriculturists, cosmologists, scientists, and inventors. That is what's about to rule over this planet. The age of trying to entertain people, the age of trying to, hold on, what? Six of Diamonds. Setting them boundaries. You damn right. You better set them boundaries. Yeah, I mean, the idea is that these are the things that are going to be ruling, and they're already ruling the world right now. Trying to be a ball player, trying to be a rapper, trying to be an artist, trying to do this, that is cool, right? But that should not be the focus, right? Granted, if that is in your wheelhouse, that is good, right? But understand what's about to really take over these things. All right. So I always got to tell everybody, get yourself nationalized. Get it together. If you have questions about it, definitely reach out to Hawab DFW, Shabazz Associates, or you could go to honorgovernment.org. You be like, man, I don't want to deal with Kojo because Kojo, I don't know, he be on some different time. And that's cool too. That's why we have a whole list of jurists on the site, right? So that's one thing. So I always gotta mention that. But let me mention this other thing. I know I keep talking, y'all, about this stuff, but I swear, I'm sleeping on something. So I'm gonna share my screen on this particular thing. So let me see if it'll show my next thing. Yeah, so I'm gonna show my next screen on that. Okay. So let me share. So I'm gonna stop sharing. And I'm gonna share screen. Where are you? Okay. So hopefully I can see my screen. All right. I know y'all like, man, Coach, you already talked about this before. And I'm gonna keep talking about it. Because the same thing that happened, y'all remember I'm gonna have to keep pounding on y'all. Y'all remember I talked about IonQ, right? I think 2 weeks ago, right? It was like at 17 something, right? This joker was as high as 1870-ish, right before it came down a little bit, right? But the idea is that this is still climbing up. Like I told y'all, this one right here ain't going nowhere, even if there's a correction. So let me go back to Aurora. The reason why I'm bringing this up again is because right now it's at 331 after hours. But again, it started as low as $1 when I was telling y'all. Some of y'all don't even want to nibble at the market. And it's like that's another way that you could put revenue for yourself, right? If it goes from $3 to $6 and then you cash out half of it, you can do whatever you want with the other half, right? While the other one is that's house money. So that's my point, right? Is that, and why Aurora Innovations is like even on my radar and why do I even own it is because of the companies that they're working with. PACCAR, Uber, NVIDIA, Hyundai, Volvo, all these different companies that they're incorporating autonomous vehicles. As you know, this stuff is autonomous vehicles. Like if I type in autonomous vehicles, right? All right, let me see. Where is it? I think it's in, if I'm not mistaken, literally fully driverless taxi. Vegas Road. Y'all see this on my screen? Y'all playing. That probably has the world's technology and software inside, along with NVIDIA and stuff like that, right? But that's what I'm saying. And what they're actually doing is they're incorporating this technology into bigger vehicles like Packard's 18-wheelers, maybe mid-sized like buses or vehicles, and turning those things into autonomous vehicles, right? And people are already using it. You got folks from Amazon, Uber, Apple, who and Tesla that are already participating in this company. That's why I'm even mentioning it, right? I know you're like, man, Coach, I don't really care. I really don't care. You should care, right? There's a reason why I'm mentioning it. Oh, peace. Hold on, peace, everybody. I know, see people. He said, I'm trained a little bit. Okay, cool. So hopefully that makes sense to y'all about like why I'm even mentioning this company. But I'm telling you, like when we go back to Aurora, right? It's really cheap right now. I'm telling you, like when I go back to AMD, right? Let's just go back 5 years. Let me see what it's saying. I'll even go back a little bit further. I'll go back 6. Let me take it here. 2016, $2, y'all. 7 years ago. 7 years ago. And everybody was counting this company out. 7 years later, all-time high of 138. Now it's back down to, 106. Right? So this is the same thing that can happen with this company, especially they're doing the right steps. They have all the right partnerships in place. They're making the revenues. They have the peoples in place. Like, look, driverless trucks leave California for Texas over new laws. Folks, if you ain't in Texas, Georgia, listen, I don't know what y'all doing, right? Come to Texas. So anyway, this is what's happening in real time. So this is why I keep saying, like, if you can put money to the side, do that, right? But do it when the technicals make sense. Because maybe it's a little bit too high. It can have some little bit pullback to like, let's say 290. That might be a good window to get in just based off of just kind of the charts, right? Yeah, like around 290. So it's due for a pullback because of the Federal Reserve and things of that nature that is taking place. So hopefully that makes sense. Let me go back to this. All right. Sun Village, y'all. We definitely need people to understand that what we have going on out there, right? We're working on the land out there. We got a couple of different things that we're doing out there, but we definitely need help as far as people who want to work, people who want to invest in the land, buy more land out there, stuff like that. But we have a lot of things that are coming. That's all I can say. There's things cooking in the pot in the right direction. So it's just worth looking into if you haven't already, right? So I won't waste too much time on everybody. But here's another one. This is my favorite subject. Y'all know I like talking about crypto. Hedera Hashgraph. We've talked about this before. Why am I mentioning Hedera Hashgraph? Let me tell you why. So I'm gonna go back to I'm gonna view this screen. So I'm gonna remove that real quick. And I'm gonna go back here and I'm gonna type in Hedera Hashgraph. I already see the search screen, right? So y'all remember FedNow, right? I'm not about to play that. Let me go ahead and pause you real quick. Pause. HBAR. After U.S. Federal Reserve instant payment platform added Drop, a Hedera-based micropayment platform. Some to maybe look into HBAR, maybe nibble at it a little bit, but the idea is that they're being utilized right now as far as their. So let me type in this. Oh, the Chamber of Commerce. We go to the members. All right. Let me scroll down. Let me scroll down. Where are you? Y'all see all these names right here? I missed it, right? Didn't I? I missed it. Didn't I? Let me make sure. There's another one that y'all need to look into. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? This is crazy. I'm seeing all these things right here. Stellar. That's another one y'all need to look into. Where is the other one that I thought? Space Chain. Yeah, so the idea is that for those who don't think that this is a reality, that crypto is a thing or blockchain is a thing, you best believe this is a real thing. Bitcoin. I definitely recommend Bitcoin. So if you haven't looked into the Hedera hash graph, definitely look into that. It's worth looking into, right? So let me go back to my screen. Talked about that. All right. Make your health a priority. Y'all know I got to make this known to y'all. Those who may need a bioscan, those who know I owe a bioscan report, getting that out to you, I want to say within a couple of weeks. So just catching up. So we'll get that out to you. Those who already received theirs, cool. Yeah, we can definitely help y'all. So the idea is just check on your health, keep up with your health. Don't play with it, right? I know y'all like, man, I'm ready to go. So on that note, appreciate y'all's time. If I offended somebody, if I said something that y'all didn't like, let me know. Again, the idea is that we cannot be floating. Some of us are drifting. If I were to summarize everything, some of us are drifting, whether it comes to business relationships, partnerships, relationships with people, and y'all don't know who y'all dealing with. Some of y'all are going off of superficial, oh man, this feels right. That's what's gonna cost y'all. And then y'all gonna come up to me, oh, Coach-O, look, man.
You don't know, baby D. You don't know. That's why you looking at me, because you don't know, baby D.
And I'm like, I bet you I will know her or know him more than you do. But they're like, man, he just, I don't know, like he just do all kinds of, he got money, he got his stuff together. Anyway, y'all get the point, right? I appreciate y'all's time. I appreciate y'all attending class. If there's any questions, again, we may develop this into another series. I may have some guests on. But the idea is don't freestyle relationships, y'all. Know who you're dealing with so that way you're not wasting time. You understand the energies that are about to be coming your way. Cosmologists can figure out what is going to happen at a particular time or give you a proximity of that, right? Enroll in those courses, y'all, if y'all want to do it. Like at Aboriginal University, we need more people. We need more people actively working because our people need help because we've seen nasty behavior happening in the community, and people need direction, people need clarity, people need stuff cleaned up. So don't get scammed out here because there's a lot of weird stuff happening. I'm seeing stuff percolating in the, I don't know, the conscious, whatever you call that. There's just a whole bunch of stuff percolating. So protect yourself, protect your family, and love y'all. And I'll see you guys next class. So peace. Instagram, we out of here. I don't understand why